Welcome to the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean. Great week of sports, great weekend coming up. Our weekend preview, Friday, January 15th. NFL coaching hires. And we have to get into a debate we kind of got into previously this week. Top 10 wide receivers in the league right now. One of the lists will have Julio Jones on it, most likely. One of them you can pretty much guess he won't be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got some lead up to that one. I was glad you remembered it. I was actually glad you reminded me about that so I could come up with mine.
ESPN has been listing the NBA's top positions all time. We already went over the point guards. They released shooting guards and small forwards. We'll go over that. Mel Kiper's released a mock draft. We're definitely going to have to review that. Some questionable people, in my opinion, are placed above other people based probably on potential, I guess. And then, of course, somebody's got to get really low in NFL playoff picks.
Yeah. Yo, I'm digging a new intro. I'm digging the Michael Buffer. I'm digging the Muhammad Ali, greatest of all times.
Appreciate it. We're told on.
Right on.
Let's get started with the NFL coaching hires. I guess we'll start with the one that happened the soonest. Cleveland is the most intriguing one to me.
Right. Mainly
Hugh Jackson.
Right.
Surprising pick. Because it seems almost too right.
Not only that, but Hugh Jackson was just he was just in a division. And that's my only deal with that. I was like, wow, you just in a division. You know how one of the deals of being an NFL coach is, can you win your division? Year in, year out. How relevant can you keep the team, and how often y'all win? And let's be for real. As of late, it's kind of been just Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore the past few years.
No, that's past few years, for past decades.
For quite some time.
It's been a while. My whole life.
So, big ups to him for taking the job and being willing to at least take on the challenge. But with my only knock on is, like, he's a good coach, and I'd hate for him to get shot out of there after a year or two, because they think that it's going to be easy to turn this team around, who seems to miss on quarterbacks more than any team ever.
And that has been the talk, that with him coming in, Johnny Manziel is most likely going to go. Probably for good reason.
Right. And I'll with everything that's been going on as of late, earlier this season, I kind of found myself trying to defend Johnny Manziel. But as of late, I kind of feel like he's trying to sabotage his way out. Like he's basically asking for a mercy death. Just get me out of here. But the way he's going about it is he's setting himself up to where other teams is going to be, disinterested in him because of the way he's going about it.
Next up, I'm going to go to the Giants. Ben McAdoo.
Right.
Is going to replace Tom Coughlin. Ben McAdoo has been the Giants' offense coordinator for the past 2 seasons. Are they looking to is this going to make them better, or just keep them on the same line Coughlin had them on, but pleasing the fans that Coughlin's going?
Well, I mean, one thing we got to remember is Jim Coughlin kind of snubbed the Giants organization of being able to fire him, because when they scheduled a meeting with him, he let them know he was going to resign. But to answer your question, I think they're going to keep. They like the direction that he had them going. It was just the fact that with Coughlin, people forgot that, yes, he's gotten them 2 Super Bowl titles, but over the past 5-6 years, this team really hasn't made the playoffs. They've looked like they could make the playoffs, but for whatever reason, they wind up, missing out. Whether it's to the Cowboys, whether it's to the Eagles for a couple of seasons, this year to the Redskins, and so right now, I think it's just one of those deals where it's about having a new voice, because the offensive coordinator is going to keep the team in sync. They still keeping Steve Spagnuolo on defense, which we all agree that they need to improve.
Oh, that was the problem.
Right. If they were scoring 40 points, if their defense was letting teams score 41, that's just the way it is.
So the way I look at it, it's pretty much gonna be the same.
Right. Just different voice.
I don't know if that's completely true.
Different voice from a head coaching standpoint.
I just think it's a different name in the papers.
Right.
Tom Coughlin come off as the kind of guy to sit there and talk to the team.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't even know if it's a different voice. I just think just another dude to blame.
I think Coughlin is more hands-on than what most people
Probably.
would think. But either way, like Jim Coughlin is he's a pretty good leader of men.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't have a problem with him.
Right.
Next up, I'll go Doug Peterson for the Eagles.
That was kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know what to tell you about that.
Because
I don't understand.
We had, and we discussed this not too long ago with the 49ers, which we'll get into in a minute. But when you look at that organization, I don't bash it due to the fact that they liked what Andy Reid. Like, Penderson comes from the Andy Reid's coaching tree. I mean, they can't make it official until Kansas City is out of the playoffs. But
Yes.
they basically grabbed...
they're
Right.
they've pretty much got locked up, what I heard.
Yeah, pretty much. But they, how it is. They, you still part of another team. So they, the whole deal with the league is. But the deal is they wanted somebody from Andy Reid's coaching tree. Someone who had been in the organization for quite some time, and someone who could try to get them back in that direction where they was a team that had to be talked about each and every season, which was something that they had when they had Andy Reid there. Consistently, you was always talking about this team being a playoff contending team and making some noise in the NFL period. Chip Kelly being the head coach there, we already know the situation there. Head coach Chip Kelly was pretty good. GM Chip Kelly or him being in charge of his rosters wasn't so good. Made a lot of moves that didn't make sense. So I think it's good for their organization because they know him, they know of him, and they kind of will see eye to eye with the direction that they want to see the program go in, see the organization go in now. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was about to move on, so if you got something else to say about it.
Yeah, but I was just still thinking. I was still thinking like I said before, Mike Shanahan and all these guys was out there and they just didn't.
I don't want Mike Shanahan either.
Okay.
Moving on. I'm saving 49ers for last, so real quick, Buccaneers promote their offensive coordinator, Dirk Koetter, to head coach.
Right.
I guess he has good repertoire.
Right.
With
most
Jameis
winningest
Winston.
head coach in Boise State history.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know college doesn't always translate into the NFL, but I think right now they're probably. I don't agree with the way they let go.
Look,
Right.
the defense wasn't very good, and that is it's supposed to be a strong suit.
True story, but he had only been there 2 seasons before he was able to get
Yeah.
the kind of talent he wanted. Not to mention their whole objective was to get a quarterback first. They kept Cutter, and once again, Cutter coming from not that long ago being in college football, as we said, kind of knows what to expect, know what to look out for, and that's kind of been the theme of these coaching hires has been like offensive guys, offensive coordinators. Guys who can, I guess you call it quarterback whisperers.
Last, definitely not least, the 49ers went out and hired Chip Kelly.
Right.
They just want to keep Colin Kaepernick. That's the only reason I can see them hiring him.
Right. I think the 49ers organization has seen something that you had said earlier in the show, which we'll touch on with the we start talking about later on in the show, the draft. I think they saw something in this draft that they didn't really like at the quarterback spot, and I think they saw some of the quarterbacks that's coming up in the some of the quarterbacks that's coming up in free agency. I don't think they realize. I don't think that they'll be able to probably pay some of those quarterbacks what they may want, or they may not fit from a system standpoint. And so the way they see it is, you still got this young guy here who still needs to be kind of nurtured, who can still maybe run your system to the way you would like it. Because to be for real, in Chip Kelly's offense, the read option is it's an integral part of what they do. Besides the tempo,
It make it better. It would be a shocker, but if they went and got offensive line in the draft,
right,
instead of wide receivers,
right,
to run the ball,
right,
it might be an interesting offense with a read option. With,
exactly.
Hyde and
right. Because Hyde I like Hyde as a running back. I like him a lot as
Colin
a running
Kaepernick back there running the read option.
Right.
You can get wide receivers
exactly
later in the draft.
Right. I mean, they come a dime a dozen. Let's be for real. Like,
even though we are going to get into one that I think might be special.
Real quick before you change up. Adam Gase, your former offensive coordinator of your Chicago Bears, happy with them going to Miami?
Good luck.
Just like that.
Good luck. Good luck.
Fortunately, I had good control over that because, yeah, right as you hit the last good look, I was taking a sip of, and yeah, that'd have been all over the mic. That would have sounded horrible. Well, they had some true receivers come out.
Flashbacks.
Because you also look at Julio Jones, who's, hey, you down on Julio?
Busted.
Oh man! Wow. Woo! Controversial B. Frank over here. Controversial over there. You say no to Julio.
The haters.
No to Julio. Check him out over here, man.
I don't have a problem with Julio Jones. I just don't think he's the truth. I think he's a top 20 wide receiver.
God. Now, I'm known for my knee-jerk reactions, right? I'm the knee-jerk person, though. You supposed to be the logical guy.
Alabama does not produce great offensive talent besides wide receivers.
Yeah.
And that's Amari Cooper and Julio Jones. Top 15. I'll say top 15. Top 20 was a little unrealistic.
I forgot all about that. I forgot. God. That slipped my mind.
I'm glad because I started looking at the list. I was like, I'm not really sure if I can list.
Right.
I might be able to get him outside the top 10, though.
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to list 10. To at least make you think, oh, maybe.
No. I think of Julio Jones as a top 5.
I'm going to look, when coming up, I'm going to kind of look it over.
Okay.
Just a little, while you're doing your news, I'm going to try to see if I can list 10.
All right.
A little flashback there. Yesterday's show. Or previous week show, not just last show. I did list 10, even though it was sketchy because I only had 3 minutes. I have a new list
He was reaching.
of better wide receivers.
Call it what it is. You was reaching.
I was not reaching.
You was
Well, a
reaching.
couple of them I did reach, but that's because I didn't list integral guys that were hurt in the season. And I was just looking at a list of stats. So, we are going to go through our top 10 today. And I actually forgot about somebody else on this list.
By all means, you have the floor, good sir.
I mean, you have a list as well. I mean,
Yeah, most definitely.
My number 1 is Antonio Brown.
Okay, I agree.
My number 2 is Dez Bryant.
Okay, I got Dez Bryant as my number 3, but my number 2 is AJ Green.
Oh, I like AJ Green. My number 3 is DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Number.
I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you good? Number 3. Who's your number 3?
Yeah. My number 3 was Dez Bryant.
Okay, that's cool. My number 4 is AJ Green.
My number 4 is Julio. Yes, the Julio. Julio Jones, number 4, people.
That doesn't take long. That doesn't take long.
Not at all. I wasn't even going to build it up.
Number 5, Brandon Marshall.
Number 5, I have someone you're probably going to be surprised, but you shouldn't be. Jordy Nelson. White chocolate. The dude everybody seems to underestimate until they start running next to him. They're like, oh, man.
We might have another top 10 later on next week. Talk about why Jordy Nelson is in the list.
Oh, uh-oh.
I don't have a problem with him.
Same thing you said about Julio. Same thing he said about Julio, and then that's what led into
He
where
top
we
20.
Okay. He top 20, right? Clearly not in your top 10, though.
No, he's not listed.
Yeah, there it is.
Number 6, Odell Beckham.
Yeah, we actually got Odell at the same spot at number 6.
My shocker. Number 7, Allen Robinson. I'm big on this dude. He led the league in touchdowns. I'm tired of hearing trash.
I ain't got a problem with him. It's just I don't think he's top 10.
Time for the league.
Number 7, I have DeAndre Hopkins, actually.
You have him way below. I got him already at number 3. I think DeAndre Hopkins is the truth. The wide receivers, the quarterbacks he has is just terrible.
Yeah, they are, but like I said before, the guys I have in front of them, the Odell Beckham, Jordy, Julio, Dez, AJ, Antonio.
Calvin Johnson comes in next.
That's at what, 8?
Yes, 8.
I have Demaryius Thomas at 8.
I almost put him on my list.
Go. He didn't make your list.
No.
Good God. B. Okay. Yes, for those of you who think my reaction is a little bit knee-jerk, no, like, good. Dude just got paid the same amount of money Dez got, which means that he has a huge impact on his team. And he found a way to say no?
I found a way.
God.
I found a way to say no to Julio Jones. You surprised I found a way to say no to Demaryius Thomas.
I shouldn't be. You're
Exactly.
right. You're right. Check myself. Thanks for the checker, man.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. Good God. Good God, man. You gonna make me go full JR from WWF back in time.
So somebody stop it.
It's a slobber knocker, AJR.
Number 9, I still have Larry Fitzgerald.
He didn't even make my list.
See,
Actually, I'm a little bit disappointed in myself or not because I think he should be. Number 9, I have Calvin Johnson Jr.
Number 10. The end of the season, this dude proved something to me.
Oh, crap.
I've been kind of sleeping on this guy.
That's
for
how
a
I
while.
start.
For a while. You're big on this dude, so you should be hyped up that I put him on my list. Doug Baldwin.
I actually forgot about old Doug. Real talk. I like his game, like, for real. Like, I can't bash Doug Baldwin being in there, but at number 10 for me, he's a young receiver making a huge impact. I think the more rapport he builds with this quarterback as time goes, there'll be a one of those great dynamic duos like Peyton to Marvin Harrison. Like that type of combination is Mike Evans.
I'm not huge on Mike Evans.
I can understand why, but I like his size. He has some. What's one of the things we always said about, in the game? Sometimes you can't teach size. You can't teach height. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just something you either have or you don't. And he has tremendous. He has great wide receiver height, good height, as well as some of the most sure hands you can have in the NFL. Once again, had I thought about Larry Fitzgerald, it would have been Fitzgerald and Evans would have been just outside along with Baldwin.
I have some just outside guys. 11, 12. Some people that are close.
Cool.
Demarius Thomas was on my outside. Like, he was right there.
Right.
He was probably 11.
On the cusp.
Yeah. At 12, I'd probably put Alshon Jeffrey, who was injured all year.
I considered him as well. I agree with you on that.
I would like to point out a fact that I just listed 12 people better than Julio Jones.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay.
See, just outside, I didn't even list Julio Jones.
God.
He probably 13. I don't think I could slide him any more than that. Because, like, really...
You was sliding him with T.Y. Hilton, bruh.
Yeah, yesterday I did.
You was sliding him, yeah.
I still believe in T.Y. Don't get down on this list. You was playing with Matt Hasselbeck this year. You know what? He's 13. I'm moving Julio Jones 14.
At least you staying true to yourself.
Because yesterday I really did convince myself that T.Y. Hilton better than Julio Jones.
God, man.
That's just what I believe.
And fortunately, we live in a country where you have the right to believe what you want to believe. But if someone who didn't know you would swear you was on you was on some type of substance, they'll say, "Excuse me, Mr. Dean, but your brother over there, he ain't suffering from any like substance abuse problems. Have you checked him? Do we need to go and give him this little cup and send him to the restroom?" It's like, nah, he feels, anytime you feel deeply about something, changing your mind, don't it? I mean, practically need Jesus to come and change your mind. But I think my list is better than your list, period. Especially when you get to talking about Julio Jones is like 14. Jeez.
I might even be able to. If we start listening to tight ends, oh my, you know how far he would fall? We start listening like... Boy,
he would fall out of your top 20 with tight ends in the mix?
20.
Okay.
There's not 6 tight ends better than him, probably.
I
might be able to do... Nah, I couldn't.
I
haven't looked at the list yet. If I looked at the list...
It's like, who was you going to go to? Like,
I might do that. Let me look at the list.
Oh, God. He's about to do it, too. No, dude. Julio Jones is a playmaker.
The playmaker only had 8 touchdowns this year.
It's not his
He had a
fault.
lot. How do you have 1,800 yards with only 8 touchdowns? That doesn't even seem possible.
Because for some strange reason,
And 3 fumbles. What? He was a wide receiver. How do you fumble the ball 3 times?
he had a hand injury this season.
Yeah.
He
He always got a hand injury, ankle injury, knee.
He ain't always got a hand injury now.
You're right.
That's
It's not always
over-exaggerated.
It's not always a hand.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Sometimes it's an ankle.
Yeah, an ankle or like
Right.
a hamstring or something like that. But like, come on now, it's his hand, man. He's an integral part of what he do.
So we know Rob Gronkowski will be ahead of him. That's not even close. That boy Reed from Washington, yeah, I'm putting him ahead of him.
Nope, on Rob.
Yeah, I saw the catch he did. Joe Reed did this weekend.
Man, he another one of those guys whose hands look like they about the size of a bear's claw. Just plucked it out like.
No, I don't think I could list. I don't think I could list 6, because I think Gary Barnidge might be a stretch.
You think? You know it's a stretch. When in doubt, throw it out.
Greg Olsen, but if there was other talent on the team, he probably wouldn't be up there.
No, and I think you're truly just shooting down Tyler Eifert.
I like Tyler Eifert.
Just
I think Gary Barnidge had a better year than him.
he's had a surprising season, but I don't think he's better than Tyler Eifert.
I do.
What you just said a minute ago? Good luck. Good luck.
I'm sorry.
Good
Tyler
luck.
Eifert had Andy Dalton. We have
That's not his
quarterback carousel over
I
here
didn't know.
for
I didn't know we
Barnidge.
could blame people for being in a good organization that knows how to draft and pick players.
Well, if we're doing it all based on that, it's like stats wise, Gary Barnidge had a better season, even stat wise. So
he just so happened to be the best guy on a horrible team. Horrible. That team was just
it was not good.
ew.
Having to move on. We gotta get to the NBA.
Just know I say yes on Julio. 2 thumbs up. But just not better than Dez.
Sports Machine with Ron and Dean went over the NFL coaching hires and our top 10 wide receivers, kind of expanded to 14. Where Julio Jones found himself. Going to the NBA.
The insults with this guy. Just
Insults. Just little.
the disrespect to this guy over here, man. Straight down to this man. Julio's done great work.
He's done decent work. Above average work. I won't say decent because people confuse what decent means to me. Above average work. It was above average.
Scoffing at that, man.
He's a
Scoffing.
You act like 14 is bad.
14 for a guy who was drafted, what, top 5, top 10, and has actually lived up to it, to that.
Don't know if he lived up to that trade.
What? God. Okay. Well, around the NBA.
Not really around the NBA. ESPN's been listing NBA's top positions.
Right.
We went over the point guards earlier this week. So first, we're going to go over the top 10 shooting guards ESPN listed. 1 is Michael Jordan. Can't have a problem with that. Number 2 is Kobe Bryant. Also really can't have a problem with that. 3 is Jerry West. I guess Jerry West and Kobe, old schools would debate.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kobe's better. And I don't even think it's close. Now we start getting to active players at number 4. We have Dwayne Wade.
No.
5 is Clyde Drexler.
I'm okay. I'm game.
Clyde or Dwayne Wade?
Clyde.
I'll take Clyde. Nah. Dwayne. I'll take Dwayne Wade over Clyde.
Why? What is
you,
it that
you have a hatred over Dwayne Wade because of 06?
No,
Yes.
that's half of
That's
it.
not. That's about.
I'm honest. It's
95%.
half of it. It's half, but still, because dude, you couldn't touch the guy. Back to the topic. So that's a wound, man.
I know.
All I'm saying is, Dwayne Wade has been solid.
Oh, see.
Say it again. Say something else. Oh, say something else. Say something else.
He's been solid. He's
getting all
won. He's
heat.
won 2 titles with LeBron James.
As we go into the world of the haters.
Wouldn't have got him without LeBron
He
James and Chris
getting on me for Julio Jones, and he gonna say Dwayne Wade is solid.
He is solid.
He's above solid. He's Hall of Fame.
Average.
See,
He can't stay on the court.
At least I said
He can't stay on the court.
At least I said Julio Jones was above average. You saying Dwayne Wade's average? He won a
Slightly above
championship.
average. That's what
He
you
was
said,
a
Julio.
finals MVP, 11-time All-Star,
Finals MVP due to the fact that
3-time All Defense.
due to the fact that if you sneezed, they called a foul for the guy.
In
Yeah.
08-09, he won the scoring championship. That's after 06.
Man, Mr. I fall, but I get back up. You fall all the time, sir. Get on.
We gotta
I
go.
can't-
We gotta go
can't
further
stand
into the
this
list. We gotta go further.
You just rekindled it worse. Now he ain't even on my list.
Dwayne Wade isn't on
Nope.
your list. Okay.
Nope. Straight hater.
So right now you have Clyde Drexler 4.
Yes.
ESPN listed Allen Iverson at 6. I'm putting Allen Iverson at like 3.
The fact that Dwayne Wade is above Allen Iverson,
I agree with that.
like
Allen
God,
Iverson's 3 for me. Like he's
Come
he's
on.
behind Michael Jordan, Kobe, and you know me. I'm a Allen Iverson.
I
Like,
social really though for that one.
I'm thinking
That's
about
worthy
it.
of it.
I'm thinking about it. I don't really have one. Kind of winging it.
Ooh wee. God, Allen Iverson below Dwayne Wade, even though okay.
I guess it's because
Gotta
he has no
pass, gotta
championship.
pass. Golly.
Number 7.
It's not his fault. He got them to. Would they have even won that in the epic crossover, the shot where he steps over Tyronn Lue? Would they have even won that game if it wasn't for Allen Iverson?
No, they wouldn't have won any games that season.
God, there it is. There it is.
They probably would have won 4, like the current Philadelphia team.
Philadelphia team.
George Gervin comes in at 7.
The Iceman?
Yeah.
They got Dwayne Wade ahead of the Iceman. No. Hell, no. No. Heck no. They high. Who wrote this? I want to send them
It's 5 dudes.
5 dudes
Yeah, from
getting
ESPN.
an email from me, man.
I think it's 5. It might be 4. I think it's 5 though.
So you taking Dwayne Wade? You taking
Yeah, I take
Dwayne?
Dwayne Wade over him.
Oh,
That's a Spur too. So
I know that. That's why I'm flabbergasted. So like, God,
Number 8 is Ray Allen.
I take Ray Allen over
Oh wow.
over Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Yes, Jesus. Oh Jesus.
Number 9, Reggie Miller.
I take Reggie Miller over Dwayne Wade.
No.
Yes.
No. Most,
Yep.
Reggie Miller one of the most overrated players I've ever seen in my life. I like Reggie Miller, but he's not a top 10 shooting guard.
He is. Well, okay. If you take out Reggie Miller, who would you put in?
Either Tracy McGrady or Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Because I'd also take out Earl Monroe, who they have at 10. Which is probably because I just don't know anything about him, but
I didn't watch it.
I'm looking at his stat line and his honors, and I'm saying that I take Tracy McGrady or Vince Carter over this dude. And probably even Manu Ginobili.
Nah. Dwayne Wade wouldn't make mine, but I'm a huge fan of Tracy McGrady. I like what he's done
You take Tracy McGrady over what Dwayne Wade is done.
in a heartbeat. Even in a draft. In a draft, I'll take him.
I say prime on prime, I take Tracy McGrady. But Tracy McGrady didn't have a long enough prime.
People forget Tracy McGrady. When Kobe Bryant steps out and says, Tracy McGrady was the most difficult person to defend because of the fact that he could do it on both ends. Defense, offense, moved well without the ball, back cuts. He said it was just injuries with Tracy McGrady, and at times he just didn't get the help that he just really needed. You talking about like a guy, he was a Batman that really could have used a Robin. Any Robin. Anybody who knows anything about comics anyway. I mean, he could have used any type of Robin, Red Robin. Yeah. Whoever. Like he
I had to throw it. All right, gotta go to small forwards really fast. I'm just gonna list them and then we talk about our problems afterwards. 1 is LeBron James.
All right.
2, Larry Bird.
Okay.
3, Dr. J.
All right.
4, Kevin Durant. 5, Elgin Baylor. 6, Scottie Pippen. 7, John Havlicek. 8, Rick Barry. 9, James Worthy. And 10, Dominique Wilkins. My first problem is Kevin Durant being ahead of Scottie Pippen, Elgin Baylor, John Havlicek, Rick Barry, James Worthy, and Dominique Wilkins. I might put him above Dominique.
To be honest with you, man, my problem with
Durant hasn't done enough yet.
Right. I feel that way about all current players, even
LeBron.
Yeah, mainly because these guys are still playing.
I'd probably take Larry Bird over LeBron, but I probably still have LeBron too.
LeBron James is one of those few guys who you could actually throw up and down the whole list, from 4 up to 1. Like when I mean like 4, I mean like as in he has the size, strength, weight to even be off in a undersized power forward, but still he could still play the 4 spot and be pretty doggone good. A matchup nightmare for some people. You could actually put him up and down the list. That's what I mean by that. But my only deal is like the guys who are still playing right now, I don't think you can necessarily just put them up against guys who's already finished their career.
I understand. Like, they look at potential. You're talking about Kevin Durant, no championships.
No. Been there, but then lost to the...
I mean, you will take him over. I understand Elgin Baylor doesn't have any championships. But you even look at their stat lines. Elgin Baylor's is better.
And people
Flat
forget,
out. Like, it's not even all that close.
I mean, it's not his fault that he didn't win a title due to the fact that, it's like I said earlier, man, he was the only guy on the team where the Celtics was the everything of basketball. Like, they was the evil empire of every season. It was them winning. It's not his fault.
Yes.
Say the same thing with Jerry West for a while. Like, Celtics, you just run up against a Celtics team that just had everything that you could ask for in a championship franchise and an all-decade team, all of that. Hall of Fame starting lineup, all of that. Like, they just had it all.
Then I have another problem with Scottie Pippen, who to me would probably be above Elgin Baylor and Kevin Durant. maybe even Dr. J.
I won't take it as far as Dr. J.
Dr. J to me is more known than he is actually good at basketball. He is really good at basketball, but I think he just like globalized the game, so he gets so much credit to the point where you're kind of slighting guys that put it on.
I ain't bashing Scottie Pippen. Like, you talk about a guy who done it on both sides of the court as well. You know, probably one of the first guys who was, I guess, like when you look at the Kawhi Leonards and Paul George guys who could lock you down defensively, but also make you work their guy on the offensive end as well. So I mean, I don't have a problem with him being on the list due to the fact that I don't think Jordan would have got as many of the championships that he's gotten without Scottie Pippen, in my opinion. As a matter of fact, they didn't really start getting anywhere till they got Scottie Pippen. Look it up; those are facts.
Oh, just last but not least, my last problem is James Worthy, who was on like the most iconic basketball team ever,
Right.
and was kind of the scoring guy
Right.
after Kareem kind of started going off the bad game.
Right.
James Worthy put up like 42 in the championship game or in the finals. So,
Straight killing it.
I don't know.
It's the reason
That's
why
just me.
you got a nickname called Big Game James Worthy. They don't call you Big Game unless your game is like that. It's like Big Shot Robert Horry. You don't call a guy Big Shot unless you know this dude is clutch.
He did not make the list.
No, he didn't. Even though he has like 7 rings. 7 or 8 rings is one of them. I'm not, don't quote me on that.
I mean, you know, John Havlicek has 8, and he's ranked below Kevin Durant. All right, moving on from the NBA, going back to the NFL. NFL draft, mock draft, right here on the Sports Machine. Sports Machine with Brian Dean just went over NBA's all-time top shooting guards and small forwards. Listed our top 10 NFL wide receivers right now, and NFL coaching hires. Going to the college game, NFL draft coming up. In the off season, it's the playoffs. It's finally time. Mel Kiper has released first mock drafts and some interesting, very interesting things on this. With Goff going number 2 to the Cleveland Browns, the quarterback from California.
Are you big on golf?
Well, see, I kind of was at one point, and I still think he's going to be good. Probably a really good backup. He might be a Ryan Fitzpatrick type where he can start for a team, but never going to be the long-term starter for any team.
Right.
Where he like circulates around the league, starting for teams that think they can make it with a game manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have a hatred for Goff because he ruined my California over Utah pick earlier in the season by throwing
Right.
5 interceptions. He's not top. In this draft, I wouldn't take a quarterback in the first round.
I can understand that. Like, for me, like, my whole deal with the guy is I think he's more of a project. And usually guys who you are drafting in the first round are not project guys. At least in my opinion. Usually you're drafting a guy in the first round because he can have an immediate impact on your team. And so I'm not sure how much of an immediate impact he could have on the Cleveland Browns season. Besides just, we're playing him just to try to get him through the learning curve. And it's like, even then you have to be careful with that because, you know, football or any major sport, it's about confidence too. And if you break this guy's confidence early, he won't progress into anything.
I agree. And I think it would be a mistake for them to take a quarterback. Hopefully Hugh Jackson can kind of... I heard Hugh Jackson's the one pushing for Goff. But
Maybe he knows something we don't know, but
it's possible.
I'm I'm just not. For whatever reason,
This year in quarterbacks, I don't trust none of them.
you're right. I don't see anybody early, like you said, early, who I got to get, like, who's a surefire, I got to get him now. Like, I don't see anybody here as well. I mean, last year the one guy who should have been got in the first round, but for whatever reason didn't was young Carr that's in Oakland right now.
Oh, Derek Carr.
Yeah, the reason I call him young Carr is because if I
You trying to say the D, you get mixed up.
yeah, exactly.
At least you know.
You can say that same thing what happened to David Carr is the fact that he was on an expansion team at the time. They didn't have him any receivers at the time, no offensive lineman, no running back. It was just a dude who had all the tools, everything you wanted, and a quarterback from arm power, accuracy, has it together on and off the field. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out because his confidence was broken. It was done. I mean, back to the deal, though.
Number 1, they had Tennessee Titans taking Joey Bosa, by the way. Defensive end from Ohio State. I think that's it would be a good pick for Tennessee. Unless they trade it back. To me, anybody in the top 5 has to be looking to trade back, correct?
I would. You know what? I'm almost willing to argue that as good as Joey Bosa is, and I'm not upset, I wouldn't be upset with this pick. And once again, this is just a hypothetical, it's a mock draft by Mel Kiper. If I'm Tennessee, I'm starting to look at what teams like Dallas has done with the offensive line and protecting your investment, because your investment, even though they don't have a head coach yet, your investment is also a scrambling type of quarterback. And let's not act like Marcus Mariota is a big guy. And what I mean by not being a big guy, like you look at Peyton Manning is a thick guy. You look at Andrew Luck, he's a big, thick guy. When you talk about body sizes, body types, you would put Marcus Mariota in the same body frame or body size like Michael Vick or Robert Griffin. Guys who, I mean, they're not that thick of guys, so therefore injuries is a more than likely, not a most likely.
Good point, you brought it up. It is potentially an offensive lineman at the first pick. The first offensive lineman they have going is third to the San Diego Chargers, kid out of Ole Miss.
I like that kid, especially what I saw out of him at the last game where they played Oklahoma State.
Yeah, and they put it on.
Right. I think he scored a touchdown in that game, as a matter of fact. They ran a fake play. He wound up flanking out.
So he can be immediate starter as soon as he comes in.
Yeah, most definitely.
As soon as he comes in, he's going to start.
Now, see, if I'm Tennessee, I'm looking at that guy there. You look at this guy, he's big, strong, athletic, got some speed. A good second cornerstone piece. I would look at him more than on the defensive side.
As I look down this mock draft list, I have an interesting name popped up at number 7 to the San Francisco 49ers. It's not interesting because he's a good player.
Right.
Laquan Treadwell out of Ole Miss, good wide receiver. Now, the only problem I see, because I'm only down to 7 now,
right,
is I could have swore the best wide receiver in the country was Josh Doctson.
You and I both. We both agreed on that.
And I'm steady going down. I don't see him. Hold on. He better be in the top 10. Where you at? Oh, he go 23. They got him going 23. Josh Doctson. I want, you compare these two's numbers. I kind of looked at him before the show because I knew Josh Doctson got slotted. Josh Doctson has 200 more receiving yards than Treadwell.
Right.
But with 3 less games.
Right.
3 less.
Once again.
And he has more touchdowns, too. Josh Doctson has more touchdowns.
But the thing about what we like about Josh Doctson is he's been consistent.
And he had a better year last year.
Exactly.
Treadwell just had a good year this year.
Right.
Doctson had a good year last year.
Right. I think everybody's big on Treadwell due to the fact that he had that gruesome injury and he's come back and had a terrific season. But what's one of the things you said? Now, I think Treadwell is 6'2"?
Yes.
I think he's 6'2". Now, Josh Doctson, if I'm not mistaken, is 6'4", 6'5"-ish. And what's one of the things I said about Mike Evans, you just can't teach size.
He's listed at 6'3".
Doctson?
Yes.
Plays bigger than that.
I mean, he has long arms. That.
He's one of those lanky guys. Okay. Even then, I still take him ahead of him.
Based on production and consistency, I'd take him above him.
Right. Now, some people may say, well,
Because let him go 23 to Minnesota and let Teddy Bridgewater
that's a
get that
steal.
dude.
That's a steal. And once again, this mock drafts is only because they still haven't done the combine
Yes.
and things like that yet. So a lot of these guys' stock will either rise or fall depending on how they do on their pro days and during the scouting combine. But in my opinion, Doxson was a top 10 receiver minus the combine, minus pro day, just looking at what he's done over the season. Now, I could be biased towards it, but due to the fact that, you know, I was hoping TCU would have turned out a lot better what they did with the team that they had together, but, you know, it is what it is on that issue anyway.
Real fast. Ezekiel Elliott is the only running back to go in the first round, all the way down to 29.
Which is, I think that's going to improve as they do the combine. He's the best blocking running back on the team. I mean, in the draft. So therefore, if you have a problem protecting your quarterback and you can't get alignment at some point in time, blocking running back is also a great choice. I don't think this guy goes. He goes top. He's top 15. Crazy not to.
This time.
Really though. Real.
I think it's the sports. Like you said, really though.
Really though.
I have to admit.
Really though.
Who do you want to go first?
I'm gonna go first, and I'm gonna make this quick because I think I'm gonna make some enemies inside the state, but then I wouldn't be Dwayne Dean if I didn't make enemies someplace. My really though goes out to the city of San Antonio. My reason being is because of the fact that everybody knows about the whole 3 teams. St. Louis going to Oakland, San Diego having an option.
As we go into the world of
Been hearing rumors of
There's
according
nothing wrong.
to according to
You're trying
Fox
to get-
Sports, according to Fox Sports, good sir. According to Fox Sports, new owner Davis has grabbed like a little old parcel, a little paper of land, trying to basically get the city of Oakland to get him the kind of stadium that he wants, but he's threatening to basically move to San Antonio. In between, where the stadium could potentially be located is in between San Antonio and Austin. So San Antonio, right? Y'all can't get y'all just gotta try and steal away Cowboy fans, right? With these Oakland Raiders, right? That's actually looking like they pretty doggone good, right? Y'all just can't stick to basketball, right? Y'all just can't stick to getting NBA championships and bringing them back to the state, right? Y'all can't let it be a 2-state team between the Cowboys and Texas. Y'all got to get y'all hand in the Kool-Aid too, right? No, y'all won't get that team. If they were smart, they'd be trying to go to Oklahoma City.
Oh,
as we go into the world of the haters.
ain't no one going to Oklahoma City.
San Antonio, really though.
No cutting you short. I'm the captain now.
Don't hate on San Antonio.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you know, Raiders go to San Antonio, switching teams immediately.
Really? Just because they went to San Antonio?
Immediately. Plus, they're good.
It's just the silver and black, ain't it? That's granted, they are a good young team. I give you that. But
It's almost an immediate switch. No,
So
I wouldn't do it because I'm not that type of dude, but it would be very tempting.
sometimes it's okay to have a AFC and an NFC team.
No, it's not okay. No, that's not okay. Anyone out there doing that, stop. Really though, I really owe y'all today. I was gonna go on the Bulls for needing 53 points out of Jimmy Butler to beat Philadelphia. If you need 53 points and you still go to overtime against Philadelphia, you get really low.
True story.
No, really though. Might have to ban the segment for a couple of days.
I'm just saying, stick to basketball, San Antonio.
Yeah, turn off the mic.
God. Hey, I thought something was wrong with my headphones. I was about to go Eminem. I can't hear no snare in my headphones. No.
No, I went rogue on that one.
San Antonio Raiders, get out of here.
As long as they don't change the name. All right, NFL playoff picks start with Saturday's games. First up, AFC matchup: Chiefs going to Foxborough to play the Patriots.
No, I really like this game. I really do like the fact that, I guess what I like most about this game anyway is the fact that Andy Reid has a quarterback that can actually make that New England Patriots defense actually think about what they're going to do. Usually, what makes Bill Belichick not a good coach, but a great coach, a Hall of Fame coach, is the fact that he usually takes your best player and he completely neutralizes them. He makes you beat him with other
The
guys.
Chiefs don't even have a best player on offense.
Exactly.
Like I said, I guess the tight end, Kelsey, probably would be.
The only thing that they can do is exactly just rush the passer. Which, I mean, that's what you expect to do to a quarterback anyway. But we both agree that the best player on the team right now is Alex Smith.
Like I said, it's between him and the tight end, Travis
Right.
Kelsey.
Right.
And that goes hand in hand. So
Right. So I think he's going to create a real problem for him. Now, whether or not he's able to do that, it's a whole nother story. But, excuse me, I like this matchup mainly because not just what Alex Smith can do to the defense, but what their defense can do, potentially do to the Patriots offense. In the last game of the season, I'm not sure how people want to view this, but sometimes you are as good as what your last game was. And they didn't look too good against the division rival, the Miami Dolphins. Then that last game, they haven't played a game since then. One thing we know about this Kansas City team is what? They can rush the passer. And one thing we do know that just like any quarterback, Tom Brady can be rattled, right? He can be rattled. No matter how cold he is, no matter how many titles he got, he can be rattled. And if he gets rattled, then this team is going to go into Foxborough and win. Which is why I'm picking them, based on the defense.
I'm taking New England Patriots.
I ain't mad at you. I can't believe I fixed my mouth to actually go against Tom Brady, but
I got Tom Brady. Yeah, Robin.
I like their young cornerback that they have over there, Marcus Peters in Kansas City. I like the fact that
Well, I mean, he better be going Gronkowski because it's not like he's taking out anybody good. It's not like their wide receivers any good anyway. They
Right.
never give any good wide receivers.
That's true too. But then I do like the fact that they do have a ball hawk back there in Eric Berry. You're just not going to pass all day down the middle of the field.
They probably run the ball more in this game. Try to time out, and then in the second half, you'll see Tom Brady go off
Right.
for 200 or something.
Because I actually think that them passing, not having a
Because the Patriots defense isn't a joke either.
no, they're not. They're no scrubs. That's why I said it's like if they're able to, if the Chiefs offense is able to sustain some type of a run game, keep that defense on the field, right? They can do something in this game. Now, if ifs was fifths, we'd all be drunk. We all know that. But that's excuse me, I'm sorry. That's the main reason why I picked the Chiefs is because of their defense. Their defense can get stops. Both teams' defense can get some stops, but who's going to get the most? I think the Chiefs' defense will not be on the field as much as the Patriots' defense will, which
I'm trusting Bill Belichick,
I ain't mad at you.
and I think the Patriots will run the ball to keep the Chiefs out there a little bit longer. So I think we both kind of time of possession is a big key factor in this game.
Yeah, without question.
Second game that night, Green Bay goes to Arizona to play the Cardinals. Green Bay didn't look like they were struggling offense, like they had appeared during the season.
They just whooped them. Ain't no other way to put it.
But Arizona's defense is known.
To put a whooping on
Yes,
you. My only knock.
I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm still in that right now.
Yeah, I'm not picking.
because the Cardinals have offense and defense. They might
Right.
be the only team this year to just be almost A1 at both.
The thing is that they also have a pretty good young running back who's pretty much going to be their cornerstone. And Green Bay did not look well when Young Johnson was running the ball. I call him Young Johnson because it's another Johnson in the game. I think it's Duke Johnson or something like
Duke
that.
Johnson's in Cleveland. David Johnson is in
There it is. All
Arizona.
right. Exactly.
I believe. I'm not even 100% sure. There's too many
It
Johnsons.
is. It's
There's too
David
many
Johnson
Johnsons
out there. So I didn't want to get mixed up calling out the wrong name. But, yeah, David Johnson is actually, not only is he a speed back that can get to the outside, he's also pretty good in the inside. He's also a good receiver threat out the backfield. And teams are starting to find that out because for a minute they was only using him as a return specialist. And so now everybody's looking like, yo, you may not always have to look out for Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, he's going to move the chains. He's your possession receiver. Malcolm Floyd is the same thing.
Floyd is
Right. So you have a lot to look for on a defense that ain't exactly the best defense. They're below average defense, in my opinion.
They better try to get some turnovers.
Right. And so the thing is that in the first half, you saw how Washington got to Aaron Rodgers. This defense will get to Aaron Rodgers. And if they get to him early and don't let him get into a rhythm the same way Washington did, it's going to be another blowout in Arizona. It's the late game,
I
correct?
think Arizona is. I think it's going to be a closer game at halftime, and then Arizona's going to start
Running away with
running
it.
away with it because Green Bay's offense isn't going to be able to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since Green Bay's offense isn't necessarily the healthiest either. Moving on to Sunday, noon game. Seattle Seahawks going to Carolina. Against the Panthers. The Seahawks, the hottest team in football. It
Yes.
appeared during the season, at the end of the season.
Yes.
And Carolina, the best team all year.
Yes.
Undefeated at home.
Yes.
It's a close one.
Very close. And the thing is my pick contradicts what I was saying, and it is what it is. But I felt like I don't think any team should have wanted to face the Seattle Seahawks. But the thing is I know that Marshawn Lynch has said he's ready to go. But the thing is that there's a stat out there about Western time zone teams coming to like an Eastern time zone in noon kickoffs. And it doesn't bode well for the team that's traveling from west to east in early games.
It is noon central. So I guess that's 1 Eastern, but still.
Yeah. It's still an early game where you spent all your whole week in another time zone. I think that plays a factor. I still think that this team has gotten to heal up a little bit more in the Carolina Panthers. I think this is still the team to beat in the NFC, and I still think they're going to make a Super Bowl run. I didn't pick them to go to the Super Bowl this year, but they haven't showed me anything otherwise to say that they shouldn't or that they won't.
I'm also taking Carolina. To me, this is going to be a defensive game.
Yes.
Although I think that Carolina just happens to have an offense that just happens to go against everything Seattle does.
Mm-hmm.
They usually don't have to deal with a running quarterback. Cam Newton gonna run.
Most definitely.
And then they have Greg Olsen, the tight ends.
Right.
Whereas the Seahawks have been kind of weak all year.
This is actually going to be a close game where a field goal decides it, like a lot like it did in Seattle.
As long as we don't have any death threats, I'll be all right.
They'll wind up they'll be right there on the set.
So I'll take Carolina. Next up, Steelers in Denver playing the Broncos.
Not knowing what's going on with Ben Roethlisberger or Antonio Brown, I'm picking the Steelers in that defense. If Lance Jones has to go out there, it's not going to be a pretty game.
It is not.
So that is my main reason why I pick the Denver Broncos. Not because of Peyton Manning, but mainly because of the fact that after that war that they had with the division rival in Cincinnati, that took a lot out of them. You talk about a gauntlet of a game. That was a hard-hitting game that they went through last week, where two of their best and even top 10 players went down, and they still don't. And D'Angelo Williams still may not play that game. So they're without their second best running back on the team, maybe their Hall of Fame quarterback, and arguably the best receiver in the game. No, thank you. Denver, easily.
I'm taking the gamble. I think they're gonna play. I think Pac-Man Jones was right. I think Antonio Brown's gonna be back. I think Ben Roethlisberger is gonna tough it through enough.
I give them a little bit more shot with Ben Roethlisberger more than Antonio Brown, mainly because of the fact that Landry Jones, he gonna get in, he gonna at least turn the ball over twice. And in this game, you in a playoff game, you can't afford to have any turnovers, especially more than 2.
Here comes Santa Claus!
He come in the game. I'll be right here on the show one day. I got it wrong. I'm taking the Steelers. Taking the Steelers. Hoping Ben Roethlisberger plays and Antonio Brown, because I think they might need both of them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Paint Man, this is last year. You're going all out.
Right.
Great show. Great week. Interesting weekend coming up. Monday we will have a weekend review. Definitely going to cover the NFL, these playoff games. Most likely some NBA. And, of course, somebody always got to get really low. That's all coming up next week on the Sports Machine. Are you tired of those so-called sports talk shows that just so happen to talk about everything but sports? Well, the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean promises you they will give you sports, only sports, and nothing but sports. So help them God.
Click the like and subscribe button so you can receive your daily Sports Machine updates Monday through Friday. Down, 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 down.